Alright guys, today we are going to be looking at a Terran versus Zerg. In the lower right corner of Star Station we do have the blue Terran, Elite HHS. I don't know what that acronym stands for, but probably stands for something. And in the upper left corner of the same map we are going to see Extraterrestrials building S. Buildings. Okay. So, Zerg versus Terran. We already have the first Overlord. This map is cross spawns only, so he is doing the correct thing of sending his Overlord out to the opposite corner. And an early drone scout, very early drone scout coming out from him. We are going to be seeing slightly less economy, but he is going to be getting valuable information about whether there's a proxy or not, whether or not there is going to be a barracks or a command center first. So, good information getting, but does delay the economy a little bit. Second Overlord is also heading off to the opposite corner, so he's not going to be too worried about spotting his natural expansion. And we will see whether or not these players play greedy, economic opening, or, as Elite is doing, going for that barracks and the refinery, and I believe that was refinery after the barracks, so this is going to be a Reaper play most likely, unless he does throw down that expansion, in which case it will mean that he is going for the factory after the expansion. Now, building, doing some nice scouting, just running around, annoying some SCVs, and he's most likely not going to be able to get the SCV building the barracks, but he is doing some damage. Scout coming across the map from HHS as well. He's going to be seeing the hatchery first from buildings, and actually no pool set down for him yet either, just being thrown down now. So getting a few more drones out before doing that, and he is sending a drone down to the natural expansion just to check to see if there are any bunkers going down. And he does see that SCV running up his ramp. We do have a Reaper coming out from the barracks of HHS, and this drone just spotting around. Second supply depot going up for him as well. Still workers on that gas, so he is going to be producing either more Reapers or going for a factory afterward. But he will be getting enough minerals soon enough in order to throw down an expansion. So both these players opening very standard. Gas is finished up for buildings, so he's going to be getting that speed in about a minute or two if he throws those drones into that gas. Reaper going to be poking up into the base. Now, Star Station is a map that has lots of cliffs around the edge. So this Reaper is going to be very annoying, very hard to catch until Queens get out. And we'll see how well he does microing his drones and how well HHS does microing that Reaper. So far, only one Zergling lost. And we do have Zerglings running out into the wide open, so he's going to probably lose another one. But Queens are going to be finished up. That should put an end to the Reaper harass fairly soon. Although we do have a second one coming out. When it gets to 3 Reapers, you can micro them and pick off a Queen. But we do have 2 more Queens in production for buildings. And actually, those gases that were going down weren't for actual gas. They were to get rid of supply. But one Reaper actually may be lost, very low on health there. Of course, Reapers do end up healing after a few seconds. And we have a command center and a factory coming up, so we are most likely going to be seeing some form of Hellion play, or maybe some Widow Mines. This Overlord does spot everything though, so he is going to be a little bit more informed on what's coming his way. 2 more barracks coming down, so this is going to be a bio play coming out from HHS. Not unusual at all. Zergling is going to be running around the side. Still no gas yet from buildings, so he is playing very, very economic. Not getting that Zergling speed, of course, is going to hinder his ability to hold off aggression. And he's going for a 3rd base. Very greedy play coming out from him. So, we'll see whether or not HHS is going to be able to punish this or not. Wall going up here with a bunker. This is standard place for bunkers. Some players put it back here. This does cover wide range still, allows your SCVs to be safe if you pull them off the mineral line. This will not protect your SCVs if Zerglings do get into the base, but of course it will protect the front of the wall better. No engineering bay yet. Actually, a tank coming out for HHS, so possibly wanting to punish that greed. Maybe it was just part of his build order to begin with, but a single tank coming out will provide him safety, maybe wanting to go for a faster third command center. And gas is now just finishing up for HHS, going to be throwing down that double evo, so he will have enough gas to start those upgrades as soon as he starts, as soon as they finish up, excuse me. But so far, only Ling Tech coming out from him. We may see a Roach Warren thrown down fairly soon just for safety, or if he wants to go for a Roach Bus, but it is fairly late in the game to be going for that. And there's a tank out to protect HHS. Still no evolution chambers. This extractor is going to be picked off. Of course, even in death, it does provide information. He does know that there are at least 7 Marines out on the field. Not sure what those Zerglings are doing. Hellions and Marines are the game of the day. Lots of Marines being produced at once, although he is a little bit supply blocked, actually not producing any supply depots yet. So that is going to significantly hurt his unit production. Just one supply depot being started right now. Stim is about halfway finished, so we should see a push coming out in about a minute and a half if he does center his push around that Stim timing. Of course, there is no starport out yet. Double engineering bay just going down, so no starport means that his Stim forces will be considerably weaker after that Stim wears off, because they will not be able to heal. Lots and lots of drones for buildings. He has 58 drones compared to the 35 of our Terran player. 3 queens out so far, and these queens are going to be able to ward away those Hellions. Spinecrawler being started out in the middle of these 2 bases. This is just a little bit of safety. Lots of active creep tumors for buildings as well, so he's going to be able to get that creep spread going that was said before all the creep tumors died. So lots of Marines. Stim, I believe, should be finishing fairly soon, so we will see what sort of micro is coming out of both these players. So far, actually, HHS doing a lot of damage. BuildingS producing a lot of Zerglings and a Spire behind this as well. So if he does hold off this aggression, he will have a good amount of bank in order to get those mutas out. But as of right now, he is losing a lot of units to this push from HHS. And behind this, he is producing Widow Mines. He finally does have Medivacs out on the field, and 1-1 just starting right now. So BuildingS with a slight upgrade advantage, going to be starting 2-2 just now, and Baneling speed as well. So Baneling Muta is going to be what tech choice BuildingS decides to go for. These Zerglings not going to be doing much of anything. There's a full wall off without any Marines in the bunker, but he can raise that depot and also burrow those Widow Mines. Widow Mines, of course, create a very, very tense situation where both players don't know whether or not to engage. The Widow Mines, of course, needing to be burrowed before they can do any damage. And the Zerg player will be wondering, well, are there any Widow Mines that I'm going to potentially lose all of my forces to? Very quick 4th base coming out from BuildingS. No 3rd yet is being, as it is being produced on the high ground. Of course, there's a Zergling burrowed here, going to be very annoying in delaying that expansion. Drop being cleaned up as well, and a bunch of Marines being shut down. Those mutas were, however, revealed, so if, yep, he was paying attention, missile turrets going down all around the bases. Actually, none in the mineral line, so interesting choice there, although he is pretty much surrounding his base. I'm surprised, actually, that he hasn't put one up near his wall or up on this high ground to protect his tank. But Zerglings running across the map, not going to be able to do too much. These Widow Mines are very well spread, and he should actually, yep, he sees them, pulls back, sends a few Zerglings, actually doing more splash damage to the Terran bio. So Infestation Pit on the way as well. This is most likely just to get up to Hive. I would be surprised if he went for Swarm Hosts, or if he went for those infestors. Infestors are useful, however, in stopping the bio from microing, but since they were nerfed, they aren't nearly as effective, and it is indeed going to be for that hive. Macro hatches finishing up for buildings, and this fourth base not yet mining, but he can transfer drones over there whenever he chooses to. Lots of mutas. He actually hasn't done any harass yet, but he does have lots of banelings morphing, and so he's wanting to do a big push here, going to be hoping to deactivate those widow mines. And unburrowed widow mines means dead units, so those widow mines not set yet. Not set during that engagement. We will be seeing buildings running around, getting some units into the main base. Of course, this is going to do damage and also provide scouting information. While more units stream across the map, Zerglings going to be doing lots of damage to the economy. However, these mutas, actually I think all the mutas died. But if we look at the units lost count, Terran has lost a slight bit less. Of course, all of the units that he has lost are mostly SCVs. So lost quite a bit of SCV mineage in the main base and losing all of his SCVs on his third base. Look at the income tab. We have 43 SCVs for the Terran to 69 of the Zerg player, and he's going to lose his third command center. So his economy is going to be pretty shot, and I wouldn't be surprised if he decided to just go for an all-in at this point, because he doesn't have a whole lot of economy to speak of. He's long-distance mining from these mineral patches. Few mutas still alive, but this follow-up push from BuildingS is most likely going to be the final push. He is up about 50 supply at the moment. And while Terran is very good at coming back into the game, not from this much of a deficit. BuildingS finally saturating his fourth base. We do have adrenal glands on the way. This is going to make the Zerglings even scarier, and +2 attacks for those Mutalisks as well. I'm surprised he hasn't started 3-3 for his ground units yet, but that is up to him to do. Of course, he does already have the upgrade advantage, as Terran's 2-2 is just starting right now. More banelings being morphed in. He has not actually a whole lot of bank, but as soon as he gets max, as soon as this push comes, he will be significantly better in economy terms. Third command center about halfway done for HHS. This is most likely not going to be finishing, as BuildingS moving across the map right now. HHS widow mines taking out a few of those forces. And actually, if he does get good widow mine hits, then he could come back into this game, but that is purely dependent on BuildingS micro and not his own. Mutalisk's going to be picking off a few missile turrets and flying on out of there. One missile turret coming down as well, and a widow mine being picked off. Right now, BuildingS seems very timid, not wanting to fully commit to any sort of aggression. He knows that he's ahead, but he doesn't know how far ahead he is, and Ultra's coming on the way. I'm guessing as soon as these Ultralisks finish up, as soon as he gets maybe 3 or 4, he'll push into the third base of HHS. But right now, just playing safe. And finally, actually, these 3-3 upgrades coming. Actually, only 3 attack, and then chitinous plating for the Ultralisks. So, when that chitinous plating finishes up, I would be expecting BuildingS to push across the map. And there actually aren't any Marauders on the map for HHS, only Widow Mines and Marines, and although they do have high DPS, not going to be doing a whole lot of damage against those Ultralisks, and even just the Zergling forces and the Baneling forces from BuildingS are slightly overwhelming. Look at that supply drop. And with the bank of BuildingS, he's going to be able to remax fairly quickly. Those Ultralisks doing lots of splash damage, Mutas on the air, picking off those medevacs, and GG comes out from HHS. So BuildingS taking that win, doing a nice burrowed, and everything snowballed from there. So we will be seeing what players are sent out next from each team, and we'll see what sort of things come from the next game.